Hey everyone, it's Mark. I'm guessing that if you're watching this video, you have probably already seen my rankings of Ash's gym battles in Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn, so I don't really need to explain what's going on in this video. I know some people wanted to see me rank Ash's Battle Frontier matches, and don't worry, I'll do that soon. But for now, it's time to rank Ash's gym battles that he had in SINNOH. And to be honest, this was a difficult list to rank. Every gym battle that Ash had in SINNOH was 3v3 except for Ash vs Candace, which was 4v4. So really, I expect everyone's opinions on these battles to be all over the place. I don't actually think there's a ton of consensus on which SINNOH gym battle is the best, so I'll be curious to hear what your favorites are down in the comments. And while you're down there commenting, don't forget to hit the like button, because if you want me to rank Ash's UNOVA gym battles, this video has to reach 350 likes. Okay, with that out of the way, here are all 9 of Ash's SINNOH gym battles ranked from worst to best. Number 9, Ash vs Roark, their first battle. So yeah, I'm ranking Ash's 2 battles against Roark separately, and that's because their rematch was actually a really good battle, while this one, not so much. To set up the context of the story a little bit here, Ash had just watched Paul's gym battle against Roark, which Paul won. After some arguing between the two, Paul eventually agreed to stay and watch Ash's battle against Roark, and since Ash's team was pretty well equipped to take on a Rock-type gym, this seemed like it would be a fairly straightforward victory for Ash. Yeah, it was not. Roark decided to lead off with his Cranidos in this battle, and it was absolutely unstoppable. Like, we had just seen it get knocked out in the previous episode, but it was on another level against Ash. I feel like I should mention that even though I have this battle ranked dead last in this list, I don't think it's a terrible battle, not by any stretch. Ash puts up a decent fight, and it's just for some reason Roark is totally dominant and is able to defeat Ash relatively easy. You could put this down to Ash being off his game, thinking too much about Paul, but I don't know, I don't think that really affected the battle that much. Additionally, this battle had a lot of unnecessary exposition going on between Brock and Dawn. I could probably complain about characters from the sidelines talking too much in almost every battle, but I thought it was especially noticeable here. One other random detail about this battle that made no sense was when Pikachu had taken a ton of damage, it let off a ton of electricity, almost like it was Chimchar activating Blaze. Like, I have no clue why Pikachu was going Super Saiyan in Ash's first gym battle, but whatever. I feel like at this point I made it pretty clear that this battle had a lot of questionable things going on. Number 8, Ash vs Crasher Wake. Part of me actually loves this battle because Ash just straight up wins 3-0, and not in an unfair way like he did against Watson. This was just a straight up annihilation by Ash. Wake did not stand a chance in this battle. Pikachu was able to defeat Gyarados fairly quickly. I mean, I don't know what Wake was expecting to happen, but all it took was a Thunderbolt and a rather explosive Volt Tackle to put Ash up 1-0. Quagsire versus Turtwig wasn't as bad, and Ash actually had to switch out his Pokemon because Quagsire was getting the better of Turtwig. Weasel is Ash's 3rd Pokemon, and wait, why is it arguing with Pikachu? Oh yeah, at the start of this episode, Ash was having a training session when Pikachu accidentally hit Weasel with Thunderbolt, and for some reason this totally and completely ruined the team morale. This was basically the only tension during this entire match because Ash extended his lead pretty quickly once Wake called for Ice Beam against Weasel, and yeah, all DP fans will know what came next. Ice Aqua Jet scored the KO. I did love that Ash always had that technique in his back pocket during this series. Crasher Wake's ace Pokemon was no slouch though. Floatzel actually put up quite the fight, and that saved this battle from ending up in last place if I'm being honest. At one point, Floatzel deflects Weasel's Water Pulse back at it, which confused it, and I don't know this off the top of my head, but did Weasel ever actually confuse anyone with Water Pulse, or did this only happen the one time it got deflected back at Weasel? Anyways, Ash switches Pikachu back in, but this doesn't go very well, and eventually Weasel wants another piece of the action, and oh look, the 2 Pokemon that were fighting earlier have made up. They even high-five each other as they swap places. How sweet and wholesome can you get? Weasel eventually finishes the job with a close-range Water Pulse, and even though I really want to love a gym battle where Ash just outclasses his opponent in battles really well, I thought the Pikachu and Weasel fighting plotline was stupid, and Wake's first 2 Pokemon went down super easily. So this battle was always going to be pretty low in my rankings. Number 7, Ash vs Candace. Like I said before, this is the only non-3v3 battle on this entire list, and there's a lot to like about Ash vs Candace. We rarely get to see Ash use this many of his team members in a gym battle, and they all battled really well, except for Gliscor, but what was Ash even thinking bringing Gliscor into an Ice-type gym? Even if I like the idea of Ash having a 4v4 gym battle, it didn't make this battle any longer or more epic. It just meant that most of the Pokemon got KO'd quicker than they would have if this had just been a 3v3 or a 2v2. It was the same amount of action, just with faster knockouts. To Ash's credit, credit, I liked his strategy of recalling his Pokemon after getting some early KOs, but his 3-1 advantage was gone almost instantly once Abomasnow came out. This thing was an absolute monster. And we very quickly got down to Abomasnow versus Chimchar as the final showdown, and things were not looking so good for Ash. After being on the front foot, things totally changed for Candace once Ash remembered how her Sneasel had used the ice physics earlier. And he tells Chimchar to do the same thing by using a piece of broken ice as a snowboard, and this allowed Chimchar to easily glide around the battlefield and land a flurry of attacks thanks to its increased speed. Candace has totally lost momentum at this point, and she just sits there and does nothing, and then Chimchar closes in for one last attack with Flame Wheel, and that's all she wrote. Abomasnow is defeated just like that. I thought this was shaping up to be a great battle, but that ending kind of left me feeling like, wait, that's how Ash won? Number 6, Ash vs. Byron. Coming in at number 6 on this list was the battle where Ash won his 6th Sinnoh gym badge, and it was always going to be tough to take down a Steel-type gym leader who loves defense. And Byron sure wasn't afraid to yell and scream about his love of defense every chance he got, random explosions included. Anyways, let's talk about the actual battle, which was pretty average if I'm being honest. Chimchar is a real contender for the MVP of Ash's Sinnoh gym battles, and this is one of its stronger showings. With that said, Chimchar spent like half of this battle in critical condition. It's kind of unbelievable that we never even got a hint of Blaze possibly activating. It seems like it 100% should have, given how much damage Chimchar took throughout this battle. Another contender for MVP in this video is Buizel, but it got owned in this battle. Steelix completely demolished it in no time flat. The final showdown of Bastiodon versus Gliscor was really good though. They did a great job at using Bastiodon's anatomy, I guess, to make this battle more interesting. You'd think it was Gliscor's Fire Fang that really won the day here, but of all things, it was Sand Attack that really made the difference, creating the opening for the final attack. And considering this was Gliscor's only gym battle ever, it was pretty cool seeing it do this well, and that's probably the highlight of this battle in my opinion. Number 5, Ash vs. Volkner. If I'm being honest, before I rewatched all these battles, I thought Ash vs. Volkner was going to be an easy pick for either number 1 or 2, so I'm just as surprised as anyone to see it this low on this list, but I think this is where it deserves to be. I guess I should mention that technically Ash and Volkner did have 2 gym battles, but their first one lasted only a couple of seconds before Team Rocket interrupted it, so I'm just going to pretend like it didn't happen for the sake of this list. As phenomenal as their battle in Journeys was, this gym battle just has way too many things that I don't like about it. First of all, Torterra getting one-shot is, well, not great, and then Pikachu is pretty much finished against Electivire until Ash just gets lucky when Static activates. I mean, it's a cool moment, I guess, but Ash doesn't really feel like he deserves to be in this position. Infernape takes down Jolteon super easily. That matchup added nothing to the battle, but thankfully they saved the best for last. Volkner's Luxray was a real force to be reckoned with, and by the time the battle came down to Luxray versus Infernape, the stakes felt really high. Just as Luxray was about to close in for the finishing blow, oh hold on, we have to cut away to Team Rocket messing around at the Sunny Shore Tower. It looks like they blew a fuse in there, and that actually causes the power to go out at the gym. But there's still one big source of light on the battlefield. Whoa, what is going on with Infernape? Uh-oh, here comes Blaze. Oh yeah, I love the moments when Ash and Infernape master Blaze for the first time. It's really cool, and Infernape looks like such a powerhouse. I can't help but feel amazing about the ending of this battle. Unfortunately, that's not enough to push Ash versus Volkner higher up in this list. It's not a bad battle by any means, but it has too many flaws for me to rank it any higher than number 5. Number 4, Ash vs. Roark, the rematch. So there was only one episode in between Ash's 2 gym battles against Roark. Did anything important happen in that time? Oh yeah, Ash was inspired by Dawn's strategy of having her Pokemon spin in order to dodge, and Roark's Cranidos evolved into Rampardos. Wait, you're telling me the Cranidos that was absolutely dominant in their first battle evolved? Oh man, Ash doesn't stand a chance now, does he? Well, actually, Ash battled really well in this match, and I don't know, Roark just kind of battled worse somehow. Like, his Pokemon looked almost unbeatable in their first battle, so it kind of threw me off when Pikachu was so easily able to outclass Onix by just spinning to dodge its attacks and then quickly landing hits. Roark never even had to send out Geodude in he and Ash's first battle, so it was cool to see it here, even if this was kind of just the filler portion of the battle in the middle. The real main event came when Rampardos entered the match, and oh boy, this thing was a beast. Ash still had all 3 of his Pokemon at this point, but that lead evaporated pretty quickly as it came down to Turtwig versus Rampardos. And even though Rampardos knew some pretty great moves like Flamethrower and Head Smash, I still don't think it performed nearly as well as it did as a Cranidos in their first battle. Like, I still can't stop thinking about how good it was in that match. Anyways, the ending of this battle is pretty epic. Ash and Turtwig are able to outwit Roark and Rampardos, sliding under Rampardos in order to get in position for a Razor Leaf that finally brought down this Goliath. This was a really good battle. I could have easily put any of these top 4 matches in the number 1 spot, so I almost feel bad having Ash versus Roark round 2 all the way down here at number 4. Number 3, Ash vs. Maylene. Okay, this was easily the most surprising ranking for me, and it'll probably end up being my biggest surprise for any of Ash's gym battles, and that's because a year ago, I actually made a top 10 list of Ash's best gym battles, and I put Ash vs. Maylene at number 5 in that ranking. So I used to think that this was easily the best gym battle from the Diamond and Pearl series, and the 5th best gym battle ever, but upon rewatching these battles, I totally changed my mind. There are still lots of great moments in this battle. I'll never forget how Type Wild starts playing in the background when Staravia masters Brave Bird, although I didn't hear it this time since I rewatched all these battles in the English dub, so maybe that's partially why I didn't like this battle as much this time around. Anyways, I do have this battle at number 3 in this list, so it's not like I dislike it. It's still a really good battle. Maylene does get kind of lucky with the confusion hacks. It's actually kind of funny how Metatite did better against Staravia than Metacham did against Staraptor and Ash vs. Candace. The final showdown between Lucario and Weasel is arguably the best final matchup of this entire list. Lucario has Weasel dead to rights at multiple points in this battle, but first it miraculously learns Water Pulse at just the right time. And later, a clash between Water Pulse and Aura Sphere literally blows the roof off the place, and this gave Weasel a second life thanks to the rain activating its Swift Swim ability. While some people may not like that this battle ended in a draw, I don't really mind. I mean, Lucario had to go through all 3 members of Ash's team, and Maylene's Lucario may be the single strongest Pokemon that any Sinnoh gym leader owns, so the fact that Ash KO'd it at all is reason enough to celebrate for me. Number 2, Ash vs. Gardenia. I definitely have a soft spot for this battle, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if anyone else rates it as highly as I do, but let me tell you why I love this battle so much. This was actually the second time that Ash and Gardenia had battled each other. They had an unofficial match a few episodes earlier, and let's just say that Gardenia wiped the floor with Ash. This time around, things were different, and the battlefield and the weather played a key role in what ended up being a strategic masterclass from Ash. Gardenia's Cherubi was an unassuming lead Pokemon, but thanks to the sun, it could spam Solar Beam and had double the speed thanks to Chlorophyll. At one point, Ash just gets lucky when the clouds move in at the right time, causing Cherubi to falter, but this leads to a much better moment when Ash has Staravia strategically come down from the sky at just the right pace. So the sun comes out at the perfect time to blind Cherubi momentarily, which allows Staravia all the opportunity it needs to finish it off. Gardenia's Turtwig was her second Pokemon, and this thing was arguably even faster and stronger than Ash's Turtwig, and it knew Leech Seed, which took care of Staravia and put Ash's Turtwig in a bad spot. However, Ash used the sun to his advantage once again by using Synthesis to fully recover Turtwig's health when it was close to fainting, and it was a big redemption moment when his Turtwig finally won this mirror match. Gardenia's ace Pokemon, Roserade, was quite a force to be reckoned with, if moves like Grass Knot and Weather Ball are anything to go by, and this sun-powered Weather Ball was bad news for Turtwig. This set up a very unlikely final showdown between Roserade and Apom? Yeah, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I really liked Ash's Apom. If I can just block out anything that involved ping pong, then I only have fond memories about Ash's Apom, and this was easily its best battle moment. Ash's tactics were on point, even using the environment to his advantage, because of course Apom would be in her element in a forest like this. Roserade using Flash was a really nice twist, but Ash overcame this too thanks to his and Apom's close bond, and them hitting a Weather Ball back at Roserade was amazing, but it still wasn't over yet. After a swift attack that looked like it was straight out of a contest appeal, Ash landed the finishing blow and then won the match. Wow, take a bow, Apom, really, what a fantastic battle. I nearly put this as my number 1 Sinnoh gym battle, but that honor belongs to... Number 1, Ash vs. Fantina. Well, in a list that's been full of great 3v3 battles, what makes Ash vs. Fantina stand out as the best of the bunch for me? Well, if I had to boil it down to one word, it would be strategy. And listen, there are a lot of things I like about Pokemon battles, and my favorite battles in the history of the anime are my favorites for many different factors, but at the end of the day, I think strategy and emotion are the 2 most important things that determine how good a battle is to me. Ash vs. Fantina is such a pure tactical showdown. Both trainers innovate and adapt their strategies throughout this battle. It's amazing to see them both thinking on their feet and successfully trying new things at every turn in this battle. By the way, pop quiz, who came up with the name Counter Shield? Ash devised the Counter Shield strategy specifically for this gym battle, but it was actually Fantina who coined the term Counter Shield after seeing it in action for the first time. I could go on talking about this battle for way longer. It has so many great moments where both trainers add a new twist to make the battle even more interesting. And Fantina's over-the-top antics are hilarious to watch, but I want to know what you think. Was this the best of Ash's Sinnoh gym battles? Let me know down in the comments what Ash's best Sinnoh gym battle was, and don't forget to hit the like button. Remember that we need to get to 350 likes on this video to unlock my ranking of Ash's UNOVA gym battles. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video when it comes out. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.